here.
Don't need to dress for dinner.
I sure did. Let me have a good look here. Well, Nancy, that is wonderful. You are one fine-looking woman. You look so stunning, I didn't even notice your throat.
Oh, well, I put the scarf over it. I don't know whether it covers it up or it calls more
Look, Nancy,
attention
it doesn't
to
make any difference because you just radiate such beauty.
They brought up a vase for the flowers. I stuck them over here.
Yeah, they look great. They do. Oh, and if that's who I think it is, they will go just perfect. Nancy, allow me the pleasure of presenting the King's Arms Best.
Peter, I'm so sorry I'm late.
Don't worry about it. You're here. That's all that matters.
I planned to be on time, but Lee kept me late at the office. He said he had some important letters to get out.
He's been doing that a lot lately, huh?
Yeah.
Well, don't worry about it. He's a very busy man. I know he's got the campaign coming up, and I'm going to get you back in time just so we don't jeopardize that probation.
Oh, well, I'm not worried about that. As a matter of fact, I've already started looking another place for a job. It's okay. I talked to my probation officer, so...
Really? I thought you were happy there.
Well, I was. Past tense. Look, I don't really want to talk about it, okay?
Fine. That's okay. Yeah. Hey, promise me something.
What?
20 or 30 years from now, I don't want you to say that you wish that we would have had some big wedding with relatives and friends, okay?
Peter, you know what I really wish? I wish
you
that...
two are finally ready. We'll proceed with the ceremony.
Sure.
I can't,
What?
Peter, I need to touch up my makeup, okay? Your Honor, could you excuse us for just a few minutes?
Well, of course, but I really think we ought to get along with this, children.
Is that what I'm supposed to call him, Your Honor?
Yeah, I don't know. Did you get that remark about children? I'd like to call them something else.
Yeah. Peter, we need to talk.
Talk?
Yeah.
Fine. Hey, I think your eyeshadow's a little...
I mean alone.
Alone? Now? Okay, yeah, if you don't mind, we'd like to be alone just for a minute. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Vicky, couldn't this wait until after the ceremony? I mean, they're getting very impatient.
I'm getting impatient, too.
With what? With
With
who?
you, Peter.
What? Me?
You keep going on and on about us getting married, and you don't even see what's going on around you.
What are you talking about?
How am I going to say this? Peter, look. You're the sweetest guy I've ever known. You stood beside me when nobody cared whether I stayed behind bars or went free. You defended me. You protected me. You encouraged me when I was about to give up. You gave me hope. And most importantly, you gave me a chance by getting me out of prison and getting me into that work program.
Hey, it's the kind of thing a person does when they're in love, you know?
But, Peter, I don't love you. You're the greatest guy I've ever known, and I care about you more than you'll ever understand, but I don't love you. I've tried, I really have tried, but I just don't. Not the way I should. Not the way you deserve.
There we are. It's perfect, just like Dorothy Lamour in the movies on The Late Show, huh?
It's Dorothy Lamour.
Sure.
Give me a break. Gosh, how about someone younger like Brooke Shields or something?
All right, Brooke Shields it is.
Dan, you know, you really don't have to go to all this trouble.
Well, sure I do, Nancy. Because you're special to me. And you would be even if you weren't my client. Yes, really. I'm gonna tell you why, Nancy. Because to me, you're like a little stray kitten that's been lost out in the rain so many times. I mean, you're cold, lonely, and hungry. Because that's how the world's treated you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I've come along with just one purpose. And that's to make you believe in what you're doing. I mean, for too long now, Nancy, you've been going up to people and begging, crying, and saying, look at me, I'm hurting. I've got a right to belong too, take me in, right? They just kick you aside, don't they, Nancy? Well, nobody is gonna kick you aside anymore. Not as long as I have anything to say about it.
You know, no one's ever said that to me before. It's like no one really understands.
I do, Nancy. I do, I understand. Trust me.
Look, our dinner's getting cold, so we might as well.
Right. Well, Miss Lawson, just come right over here and have a seat. Yeah, all right?
Yeah.
Nancy. To us.
Vicky, I know you don't feel about me the same way I feel about you, but that doesn't mean that our love can't grow, and that doesn't mean that we don't have anything going for us.
We have everything going for us as friends.
But I'm more than a friend to you.
I know that's how you feel.
Look, we're more than friends. I love you. And one friend and one lover have a better chance of making it than just two friends, don't they?
Your logic is incredible.
I know it's incredible. But it'll work. We should go for it. We should see what develops out of this relationship.
I knew this wouldn't work. Shouldn't even have tried. Peter, you know why I was late?
Mr. Carruthers worked you overtime.
That was only part of it. The other part was that on the way here, I kept stopping every 5 blocks or so. And I kept saying to myself, Vicky, don't go through with this. You shouldn't even show up, because if you try and explain it to him, he'll never understand.
But I do understand.
No, you don't, Peter. That's the sad part. You don't see what's going on. You can't read the signs.
Vicky, can I hold it down? Come on.
If I hold it down, I'll never get you to understand me. Do you realize how many times I've tried to tell you we weren't meant for one another?
Well, that's just sort of like a pre-marriage
Look,
type of-
first there was the time at Leon's when I tried to tell you we were moving too fast. And then there was the time at your mother's when even she could see we weren't right for one another. And then there was the time you gave me this, your grandmother's ring. And I tried to give it back to you.
Well, you did keep it.
Peter, that was only to keep from hurting you. That was my mistake. Each time I tried to keep from hurting you, I just ended up doing it more and more because I wasn't telling you the truth. And I let it build into this rose-colored dream that you'd manufactured in your head about you and I living happily ever after together. Peter, it wouldn't be a dream. It would only be a nightmare.
I can't believe I've been so blind.
No, I guess you didn't.
What am I supposed to say?
Nothing. Don't say anything, Peter. Just listen to me. Look. Take this and save it. Save it for the girl who will come along and who will be able to live happily ever after with you, okay?
Mr. Davis, I'm sorry, but we're really going to have to move along.
I'm sorry, too.
Honey, the facts just keep stacking up against me. I just don't know what to do anymore.
Well, in James, it does say something about the double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways.
And double-minded. Doug Hughes stopped by the clinic today. He told me it's foolish to try and fight this thing. The insurance lawyers, the hospital lawyers, Lester Lewis, Doug himself, all of them agreed that the smartest thing to do is settle with Nancy outside of court.
But would that clear you as having done anything wrong because you saved her life if you do?
Well, that's just it. There are no guarantees. Doug's not even sure he can convince a jury that I did do the right thing. What do you think?
I think the way for you to stop being double-minded about this whole matter is to do what you believe is right in your heart, not your head. Who are you calling?
Doug Hughes.
The day that you separate your married life from your working life will be the day that you give up reporting.
I guess you have a good point there.
Mm-hmm. So?
Well, according to Brew Baker, things aren't looking too good for Dave. I mean, the way he sees it, there are 5 major clues that point to a motive for Dave. 1, Dave was deeply upset when Kate married Lee Carruthers. And 2, he had a very severe allergic reaction to a drug that he took by mistake, which could have caused him to act drunk. Also, his past records show that he's been known to act very belligerent when he's under the influence.
But that was years ago. And anyway, having a reaction to a drug is not like being drunk.
But that's the way the prosecution will probably see it. And 3, it's been established that he was looking for Kate the night of the murder. Also 4, Kate's house Meade said that she heard Dave say something about he thought Kate was probably over at Amber's house. And 5, he was found at the scene of the crime the next morning.
I know. Passed out with the murder weapon next to him. But still, there's got to be some kind of evidence that we can prove this man's innocence by.
I know. And I might add that we have a little 6 there, too. We have a DA who is angling to be on the governor's crime commission, and he's going to take this stuff and run with it.
Oh, now look, get that, Gene, before they wake the baby.
All right. Yes, Stacy.
Gene, I've got to talk to you. It's very important.
Yeah, Nancy.
No, thank you.
Oh, nonsense, Nancy. Come on, it'll help you relax. It'll also help you get over some of those guilty feelings about your so-called friends who want to keep you poverty-stricken for the rest of your life.
I was drinking that night of the accident.
Nancy, listen to me. It doesn't matter to our case whether you were drinking or not. The issue isn't whether you were driving under the influence or not. The issue is whether Ben Martin impaired and maimed you for the rest of your life, right?
That's the issue, isn't it?
That's right. Plain and simple. And the truth is, he has. So much so that they are lined up to settle out of court with us. The insurance company, the hospital, everybody, except Ben Martin himself. And if that isn't the height of professional snobbery, I don't know what is. Nancy, don't worry, though. He will come around, believe me. And even if he doesn't, you are still going to get justice, Nancy. And he is going to pay. No one is ever going to kick my little kitten out in the rain anymore.
Never again.
That's right. Never again. Well, we were dancing, I think, weren't we, before we were so rudely interrupted by this delicious meal? Shall we continue?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Gene, you know McGovern won't let me have anything to do with covering my father's story.
Stacy, that's for your own benefit.
Is it?
Come on, Stacy, you know it is. Look, I don't usually side with McGovern, but in a case like this, he is absolutely right.
Why? Because I'm too emotionally involved?
Exactly.
Gene, I can channel that emotion to my benefit. I won't let go until I find out who framed my father.
Stacy, your father hasn't been convicted yet.
Oh, he might as well be, the way the evidence keeps piling up against him.
Wait. Have you been going through my files?
Since when have we stopped sharing each other's information?
We haven't, but maybe you should in this case, Stacy. Now, honestly, I know what you're going through.
Do you? Everyone says that to me, Gene, but no one does. No one.
Wait a minute, now look. Is that the way you plan to channel that emotional involvement there?
Sorry.
Now look, there hasn't been any new evidence that's surfaced yet, and Harold, Webster, myself, we don't plan to sit around and rely on the police. We both happen to believe that your father's innocent just like you, and we're going to continue digging until we prove it.
With the trial less than a week away? Gene, this whole thing is so absurd. My father could never kill my mother. That's the only woman he has ever loved. Now, that's why, if there would be some way that I could help you, I know I could clear him. Gene, I cannot just sit around. I have got to do something. Oh, my God, can't you understand? I just buried my mother the other day, and my father is being tried for murder. My whole life is falling apart, and everyone expects me to sit around and do nothing.
What is going
Stacy.
on?
Look, listen, why don't you stay with us tonight?
Sure, now you can stay in the guest room.
No, I couldn't, thanks.
Well, at least let me drive you home.
I'll be all right. I'm sorry, Carla. I hope I didn't wake up the baby.
Oh, don't worry about it. She's probably fast asleep by now. But listen, let Jean drive you home.
No, I'll be fine. As soon as I get some fresh air, I'll be just fine.
Stacy, are you sure?
Jean,
I may not be in shape to help cover my father's story. But whatever you do, you have got to prove that he didn't do it. You've got to.
Mom, you home? The prince, like I said, was a nice guy, but he couldn't find a princess. Believe me, he tried.
Oh, I believe you.
Well, also, this prince had a grandmother who he liked very well. And when he wasn't feeling very well, he'd go over and talk to her because she'd make him feel real good. And one of the things that they'd talk about was, why didn't he have a princess? But she would say, don't worry about it, because when you find her, you'll know it. She also said one day, when you find this princess, I want you to give her this. She said, it's magic, and only my true love can wear it.